What's the original pronunciation of this word? Sked-jool or shed-yool? It's actually really complicated. Usually Americans say sked-jool and people from the UK say shed-yool. But the word actually comes from French sed-yool, which is neither. The same thing happened with the word schism, which some people pronounce schism, but it actually comes from schisme. But the reason people pronounce it differently is because it wasn't spelled the French way. It was spelled the Latin way, and the Latin word skedula is the origin of the French word. But in late Latin, you'd pronounce it more like sedula. Having a k sound before an e is actually a really unstable sound in linguistics. It's super common for something called palatalization to happen, where the k gets pronounced more like a ch or a ts, and then the s before it usually softens the ch to more of a sh sound, or the t to a s. The same thing happens before i's a lot, which is why in English we have word pairs like skirt and shirt, which actually both come from the same word. They just took different paths to get to English, one which involved palatalization and one which didn't. Alright, back to schedule. The Latin word skedula comes from an ancient Greek word skede, which means page. So that's more similar to the American pronunciation, but over time the Greek pronunciation actually changed to more like skede. So depending on which historical pronunciation you want to associate the spelling with, you can actually pronounce it a bunch of different ways. So you can make the argument that the sk pronunciation is more proper because it's closer to the original, but then you'd have to explain why you don't use the sk pronunciation in other words that used to have it. For instance, the English word ship comes from a word that was originally pronounced skip. So in my opinion, both pronunciations are pretty valid and it's fun to joke around about, but there's not actually anything to argue about.